Davis gets the rebound, wants to run, and lays it in. Davis. Duquesne keeps it alive. Staffolino had nowhere to go. And the third chance belongs to Alexander, who kicks it out to a wide open Imani Mayo. Mayo hits the three. Shot clock down to 10. Davis doing it all herself. Alexander picks up the loose ball. Staffolino went to the ground to save it, but that was it. Inside to Williamson, quick flip for two. Davis, great runner in the lane. Alexander out to Davis, wide open for three, and Davis buries another.
Over to Moore, left open for just a second, and he cuts the lead to one. Rose, Moorman, and it is 56-54.
Dre Perry back in the game.
Loose ball again. Rose has a chance for an and one. Rose, that's a tough shot. Kisses it off the glass.
Temple on top early. Underneath, wide open, a great look from Alexander. Kept in play, great work there from Alexa Williamson, able to keep it alive, unselfish at the other end. The other way, the basket and the foul. Circus shot from Asana Alexander, the Garden State native. The movement inside, off the back of the iron. Davis, the rebound and the putback. Mia Davis.
Trying to get his own miss. And numbers here for Temple. Moore for a second attempt from three and drains it this time. Temple got a big night from Moore against Maryland a few games ago. Vaughn down low, rejected by Perry. Forrester
Trying to play through Forrester, and why not? He's made his last 13 field goal attempts in this building.
making it 14. Jake Forrester compliments of Alani Moore.
Right on cue.
And Moore has the loose ball. Rose past Jordan, and Quinn Rose with the monster jam! Temple could take the lead with a three. Instead, they tie it with a two. Dre Perry compliments of Rose, and a timeout by Ryder. Trying to beat that zone right into the charity strike, and Dre Perry, injured, took one to the chin earlier, drains it for the house. Goes up with the loose change. It was Parks instead. Back to Perry. They swing it for Alani Moore, looking for number 5, and Alani Moore!
It's a battle for third place in the conference. Mackin's doubled out to Davis. She's been strong at the outset.
Neon likes those looks from three. Down low for Davis, met by two. Leverett was there, but it's Atkinson who cleans up on the weak side. Hodzik there with the distribution. It's Neon for three. She delivers from downtown. Inside out to Davis.
Give her 22 with that three-pointer.
Nice steal by Pierre-Louis. And a circus finish in the foul. We were able to get in the gap. Oh, Borman went right at everybody.
Yeah, he faked the handoff. Went right to the rim. I thought he helped change the game a little bit. Oh, man.
Nice
Good
move.
Mormon.
Kicked it out to Rose, who's open for three. Pierre-Louis got trouble, but gets it out. Forrester wrestling. Rose finishes.
Man, was that good by Forrester. He lost the ball, but he knew a play ahead that Rose was cutting to the basket. Too many jump shots, not enough flag and Nebo.
Moore for three.
I love that zone to start the half.
Lob to Quentin Rose. Plus, we've had 3 30-point scores in this tournament. Now look out for a dunk by Rose. Kind of modest by his terms. Mormon from the corner.
Or hit this three. Now you're a little more comfortable.
Still got another game he's got. Close too. Alani Moore, who had the great game the other day with 22. Yesterday, now has 14. Pierre-Louis with a little circus dunk. Good feed underneath to Nate Louis.
Back onto the right side, Alexander looking down low. They can't get it to her. Nyong will take the three and hits it. As she throws it away, Mackins comes up with it. Nyong drives, and she lays it in left side. Davis wants to hand it off, finds Alexander down the right side of the lane. Alexander puts up the wild shot. It's off the glass and good. Rebounded by Nyong and up to Alexander right side. Finds Davis underneath the basket quick. Lobbed into Davis, and now Nyong has a left side. Lobs one down low. Williamson on the left side puts it up and in off the left side, and so with 8 to shoot. Alexander looks to drive, kicks it back out. Nyong tries a three and hits another one. Temple leads, but Tulsa's best player is out of the game. Davis drives to the basket and lays it in. Davis hands it back off to Alexander, goes down the right side of the lane, goes up off the glass and good. 26th against Memphis. As the tip is won by Temple in a quick basket from Mia Davis. It's nearly stolen away. Nyong right side for three. Yes, and that could be the dagger there.
She has been very good for the Huskies.
Alani Moore the second. He has hit the most three-pointers now in the American. Christian Vital, the leader in steals in the conference, but another giveaway, and Temple takes advantage to take the lead again. The last three from Gilbert giving them a one-point advantage. Nice pass, Rose to Pierre-Louis, and Temple's back in front. Pierre-Louis, a momentum three, and he buries it. Here is Rose, still looking for his big bucket tonight, and he sinks it at a huge spot to put Temple up by 5. Rose on the drive. Forrester's there. Inside of 10 on the shot. Here is Rose, the turnaround. Goes Temple game. On the run out, the first field goal of the game is a slam by Jake Forrester.
And Billy Lang wants more. He'd like to see him shoot 40, and right now it is going to the paint every single possession for Temple.
And another paint touch. Forrester high flying. Division I basketball, Temple University. Mormon hits a three. The players were there. Mormon the stuff on Knox. Up ahead more. 4-3. And back to Daly, who is dispossessed. One of the steals leaders in the conference, Rose. Off to Forrester. Pierre-Louis, one of the great defenders in the American.
That's why. Great scouting report.
Mormon. Oh my! Rose. High flyer, Quentin Rose. What is new and what is refreshing about it in your view? Hold the thought. Here comes another dunk. Oh, Pierre-Louis. Right hand finish. Raise the roof.
As we go take a look at another dunk here.
Oh, boy. Quentin Rose.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual Cherry and White tip-off event presented by our friends at the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union. I am your host for the evening, Kevin Kopp. Thanks so much for joining us, for logging in, and for being a part of getting ready for the Temple men's and women's basketball 2020 and 2021 seasons. Boy, just sitting there looking at the highlights from last season, I miss basketball. I miss live sports. I'm sure you do as well. We were all excited for the day when our teams can get back on the court. We hope it is very, very soon. We've got so much to look forward to, both our men's and our women's teams here at Temple this year. And we're going to hear from the coaches and the players tonight to give you a little bit more of an in-depth look at what to expect from the Temple Owls here in 2020. 2021. We have a little bit of housekeeping to get through, and then we've got some great guests. We're going to be joined by the head coach of Temple women's basketball, Tanya Cardoza, head coach of Temple men's basketball, Aaron McKee. We're going to have a pair of seniors that have been remarkable leaders throughout their Temple careers. We're going to hear from Mia Davis and Dre Perry tonight as well. So the most important thing, many of you have already submitted your questions. That's great. We're going to get to as many of them as we can tonight, but if you've got a question for any of our coaches or our student athletes, you can click the link below. If you're watching right here below the video window, there's a link. It'll open a Google form. You can type in your question, tell us what team it's for, and we're going to try to get to as many as we can throughout the night tonight. So I hate to begin by talking about the coronavirus pandemic, but that's where our conversation has got to begin tonight. And many of you may have seen the news coming out from the city of Philadelphia today. We have updated guidelines that unfortunately are going to mean that at least for the start of our basketball season here in 2020, 2021, we are not going to be able to have fans in the Liacouras Center or McGonigal Hall. No season ticket holders for basketball yet. We will have updated guidance from the city, of course, as soon as we know more. We will get that information out to season ticket holders. So if you're a season ticket holder, you're sitting here, you've been cheering on the Owls for many years, you're wondering what you can do. We've got a couple of options. Next best thing to being there in person and watching the teams compete. The first option is we are going to have a fan cutout program. You can get a cutout of yourself and put it in the Liacouras Center or McGonigal Hall. The proceeds will benefit the Temple Owl Club. Stay tuned for details on that initiative. In addition, if you've been following along with Temple football, we have been doing something called Hoot from Home. And that is what we're bringing you the game day experience. If you were in the venue, you'd be watching up on the big video board. We're going to bring that to you at home so you can see the band, the cheerleaders, the Diamond Gems, all of the great game day atmosphere. And in addition, for basketball, you'll be able to get an inside the radio booth look at Harry Donahue and John Baum as they call the game for Temple Radio. So that will be great. You can check it out for all of our men's basketball games this year. That is Hoot from Home. It is streamed live on YouTube, and we will have more details as the season gets underway. And of course, the last option is many of these games are going to be either televised on the ESPN family of networks, or they'll be carried live on ESPN Plus, which is ESPN's new digital subscription service. You can sign up. It's $5.99 a month or $49.99 for a year. And you can check out, in addition to all of the Temple games, men's basketball, women's basketball, you can get the rest of Temple sports, volleyball, women's soccer, men's soccer, gymnastics. We've got tons of great stuff on there. You can get games from across the American Athletic Conference, 20 different major sports conferences. There's MLB on there. There's NHL. There's MLS. There's a ton of things. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to get signed up. It'll be the best way to check out Temple men's and women's basketball this year. So that's all my housekeeping items out of the way. I know you want to get to the main event here and hear from our coaches and our student athletes. So we will begin and bring out the head coach of Temple women's basketball and the winningest coach in the history of the Temple Owls program. That is Coach Tanya Cardoza joining us here. Coach, we're going to have popping up on your screen any moment. There you are, Coach. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Kevin?
Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you.
All
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great. So let's dive right into it, and then we're going to let the fans take their turn. But I just want to get into it by talking about the coronavirus and how this team has handled the adversity of the offseason. I know every team across the country is dealing with this in some way, shape, or form, and it's been a question on a lot of our fans' minds that they've submitted. It's just how the team is dealing with it and how you're getting ready for the season and having to alter your normal offseason preparations.
I think we've handled it as best we could. I think we have great leadership in our upperclassmen, and they've done a really good job of just making sure that when we do get on the court, that we're given 110%. Every day it's something different. You just don't know what to expect. But I feel like with this group that we have, they love basketball. They enjoy being around each other on the court. And when it's time to step on the court, I think they've given us everything that they've had. There have been times where we've had to take a break. And when we return back, it's like we haven't skipped a beat. And that's really good. And it says a lot about them as individuals. I don't think we would have been able to do that a couple of years ago, where you have a long layoff and still show up and ready to go. And I just credit them for, really investing in knowing that there's going to be some inconsistencies. There's going to be things that we are out of our control. But the things that we can control, and that's coming every day and giving 110%, they've done that.
Well, give us a little preview of this team. Obviously, like any offseason, you've got changes, you've got newcomers, you've got departures. Just tell us about, what fans that are looking forward to watching your team this year, what can they expect when they see the 2020 Temple Owls?
Yeah, I really like this team. I think they're a lot of fun to be around. I think, there have been teams where we don't know how to turn it on and turn it off. Well, we can actually laugh and joke, but still get work done. And again, that says a lot about them. They work extremely hard. I think our mindset is more on the defensive side. You know, we have some guys that really love to play defense, and that's something that, you know, we've been harping on the last few years to really buy in on the defensive side. I think we're fast. We might not be as great shooting team, but we're more of attacking and, like I said, being aggressive on the defensive side. I think we'll get out and transition a lot more. But I think we're just very athletic. That's one of the differences that I think over the last couple of years that we're more athletic.
Well, Coach, we've got a ton more questions for you. I know that we're going to have you back out later in the night, but I want to get to this now before she comes out here, because I know she'll be embarrassed to hear you say kind words about her. But Mia Davis, going into her senior season, she's on every major award watch list that you can be on. She's meant so much to this program over her time. Can you just take a minute and tell folks that don't get to see her off the court just how special she's been and how much she's meant to this program?
I think the biggest thing is that off the court, she's something really special. Her teammates all love her. She's so unselfish. You know, she's very coachable. You wouldn't know that she, you know, is up for all these awards. Like, she would never post about herself. You know, she doesn't have an ego. She's just fun to be around, likes to enjoy, but when it's time to step on the court, she's a winner and she's going to give you every single thing that she has. Obviously, she's a nightmare for teams to defend because she can play inside and outside. But she's just a special kid because she gives 110%. She's undersized, you know, so she always has to go up against someone bigger, or she has to play on a perimeter against someone that might be quicker than she is, but none of that ever deters from her. She's going to give you everything, and she's going to compete and try to give maximum effort to make sure that she wins in everything that she does. I think she's done a really great job academically. People don't know this, but she was named Scholar Athlete of the Month last month. So, you know, that's just a credit to her, her parents, just the hard work. You know, she's just a hardworking person all around.
That's great. We're looking forward to getting her out here soon. We're looking forward to having you back as well. If you've got a question for Coach Cardoza, click on the link below, fill out the form, send in your questions. And Coach, we hope you'll stick around for a little bit. We'll have you back out momentarily.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. And now time to bring in Coach Cardoza's counterpart on the men's side, an alum of this program, one of the storied names in Temple history, and now back as the head coach of the Temple Owls, Coach Aaron McKee, joining us as well. Coach McKee.
I'm here, Kevin.
Coach, how are you?
I'm wonderful, man. How are you?
I'm good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. We've got questions coming in fast and furious for you here, so we're going to get to a few now, and then we'll bring you back out for maybe a little rapid fire Q&A at the end of the evening. So I just want to dive right into it, and I told Coach Cardoza this. I hate to begin every interview by talking about the coronavirus, but it's 2020. It's the world we live in. And I just have to ask how your team is dealing with it and powering through it as we get ready for the start of the season here.
I guess for the last 7 months, it's been our new normal. And just, you know, all the information that we're getting in on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly, you know, it's been changing for us. And the one thing that I told our guys is we gotta get our minds together and make sure we're ready to pivot for when we get the information and all of the things that we need to do. And I thought throughout the summer, our guys have been doing a pretty good job of adjusting. And the one thing I wanted them to understand is the ones who are willing to do what the others won't during these times will be the ones that's prepared and come out on top once this pandemic is out of the way for us.
Well, that being said, let's turn our focus to something happier, and that's the team that you're going to put out on the court this year. Obviously, a lot of offseason changes. Very few guys held over from last year to this year, so it's a new look team. Just kind of take us through your roster. Even just a couple of days ago, we announced a transfer out of Dartmouth and Brendan Barry. Just tell me about all the pieces, how you expect everything to fit together here in 2020.
Well, we wanted to get more athletic, longer, and some of the guys that we're bringing in. I mean, we're young. We got a mixed bag of guys here where we have 3 seniors and 2 juniors and 3 sophomores, and we got, 5 freshmen. And our freshman class of guys, they're going to have to be, prepared to play. And so we got these guys in, and they want to be coached and they want to be a part of this program, to start. And that's important to me. We got some guys that got a chip on their shoulder. They're going to, play with an edge. And those are the guys we typically get at Temple that, have something to prove for the most part. So I'm excited. I enjoy coming in, coaching these guys every day. We're going to be led by our seniors and Dre Perry and JP Mormon. Jake Forrester, who's a junior now, who he got baptized last year. We threw him right in right away, as a transfer. So he has some meaningful minutes for us and some experience where he can, help us along the way. We have a transfer and Ty Strickland, who was a part of the program, excuse me, last year, but didn't get the opportunity to play. He practiced and he understand, what we're asking of him and from him. So he, hopefully he can provide us with some experience because, with these freshman group of guys that we have, we're going to need a lot of help out there for them to help them, with this college basketball game.
Well, is it the same philosophy? You mentioned the baptism by fire really with Jake. I mean, can we expect the same from the 5 freshmen, that they're really just going to get thrown in there and especially in the early part of the season, we're just going to have to get them acclimated to college basketball and kind of see where it goes from there?
Yeah, up to this point, those guys have been displaying that they're ready to play college basketball, and they certainly will have, their opportunity to play, and that's what this is really about. You want to play the best 5 guys that give you an opportunity to win basketball games, whether you're senior, junior, freshman, sophomore. To me, it don't matter. I think a lot has changed in this game of basketball where freshmen now that are coming in, as opposed to, when I played, they're more prepared to play on that college level.
Well, we're really looking forward to seeing it all together. Again, Coach, don't go too far. We're going to talk to one of those seniors that you mentioned, Dre Perry, in a little bit. We've got Mia Davis coming on. And then, again, get your questions in for Coach. I know we have a whole bunch, but click the link below if you haven't already submitted one. And Coach, stick around for a little bit, and we'll talk to you soon.
I will. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. That is Coach Aaron McKee. And now it is time to bring out, we're going to go back to the women's side and bring out senior Mia Davis. And I mentioned some awards and some accolades. I'll list them here now. Cheryl Miller Award Watch List, American Athletic Conference Co-Preseason Player of the Year, and a top 25 candidate for the Becky Hammond Mid-Major Player of the Year Award. Mia, thanks so much for taking some time to talk tonight. Mia may have been embarrassed by all of the.
Hello, can you hear me?
I thought, yeah, I can hear you, Mia. I thought you just heard me singing all your praises and you decided to shut the computer off.
No, I had to connect my mic.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. I know folks are excited to get to hear from you, and we're going to have some questions coming from our fans. But I just want to start out kind of like we talked about with Coach Cardoza while she was on earlier. Just tell us about this year's team. It's been so hard for us. We don't get the same looks at practice that we do in a normal offseason. We haven't been able to talk as much as we normally do. And I know fans of the program just want to know kind of what to expect when you do get out there on the court and play. So tell us about this year's team and kind of how it's all coming together.
So of course things have been different because of COVID. So we just been following the rules, keeping on our masks, doing anything to stay safety and get in the gym. Once we do get in the gym, like Coach said, everyone bring 110%. Everybody is just focused and tuned in with getting better.
Well, you're going into your senior year. Obviously, you've been around this program for so long. You've been through ups and downs, some successful years, some years that were a struggle. I mean, what does this senior year mean to you? I know it's happening under adverse circumstances, but when you do get out there and you do get the chance to go out there and compete this year, I mean, how much does this opportunity mean to you?
It, of course, it means a lot to me, even though, we don't know what's going to happen. But, as a whole, I just want to push myself to be the best of me on and off the court and just be a great leader to the underclassmen and my fellow classmen and just being a better leader, talking more, just doing everything I can.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I imagine in a year like this where you don't have the traditional practice schedule and you don't have the traditional off season that you normally do. I mean, I think player leadership is so important. And now you're that senior and that focal point. Are you, I know you haven't always been maybe the most vocal leader in your time here, but are you getting more comfortable with that? Is that something that you've kind of learned to embrace this year?
Yes, I feel as though over the years, I learned to embrace this role more because actually being vocal, talking, helping others, actually help others out. So I'm learning to embrace this role.
That's great. Well, Mia, stick around for a little bit. We're going to come bring everyone back here in just a couple minutes. We're going to talk first with Dre Perry. But again, if you've got a question for Mia Davis, click below, write it out, and we'll have Mia back on shortly here, and we'll have some more Q&A going.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Mia. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. And last but certainly not least of our 4 guests this evening, we have a senior on the men's basketball team, and that is Dre Perry joining us. Dre, thanks so much for coming on and chatting tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We've got a ton of Temple fans, season ticket holders, students, alums that are tuned in. And obviously the same thing's on everyone's mind is we just want to see this team out there on the court and play in person. I'm sure you want the same thing. Just take us through this offseason. You've been through so much as a college basketball player. I'm sure nothing remotely approaching maybe the weirdness of the 2020 offseason. Just tell us about how the team is handling all this adversity.
I say the team's handling it the best way possible. Everybody comes in every day, positive attitude, and ready to do whatever's asked of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and now for yourself too. I mean, we just talked about Mia with this. You know, I think really in this type of environment, the leadership of the players is so important too. And as a senior, you're one of those guys now. And you know, what does that mean for you? And kind of how have you stepped up and embraced that role this year?
Really embrace that role. Me and JP both, for these young guys, especially because we have a lot of young guys, and we just kind of feed them as much information and show them a way as quickly as possible. And the key to all this is pretty much being connected, and that's just what we've been working on with each other.
Take us through the makeup of this team, how you see it as a player. Again, there's so many changes in the offseason. It's such a new team. I think probably more than anything else tonight, people just want to hear about the guys and you know, maybe especially the newcomers who we really haven't gotten to see much in action. You know, tell us about them, what they're like on the court and practice and kind of how practices have been for you guys.
Practice has been very competitive. All the young guys, they're very coachable, and they all work really hard. So it's been quite interesting, especially as we got to get up and down a little bit. We're pretty athletic as a team, I would say, and we're going to be very good defensively, should be very good defensively for sure. Quincy really can shoot the ball. Nick, he's surprised a lot of us of what he's able to do and how he's able to put the ball on the floor. Jay Will's intensity and aggressiveness, and Caleb. He's been quite interesting. Really shoot the ball very well, athletic, and make great plays for others.
I just want to ask last question before we get everyone to join us here, and we'll really start firing away here on the Q&A. JP Mormon, who's been a teammate of yours through, you guys came in together, and again, there's been so many changes and people come and go, but you guys haven't spent the last 4 years together. Just tell us about JP, you know, what he's like. Obviously we get to see him on the court, what he's like away from the court, and just, you know, how your relationship is.
JP, me and him, of course we gotten close because we've been here 4 years together, but he's pretty optimistic, always positive, looking for a positive outcome of everything. And it's been great, honestly. I'm actually glad I get to lead these young guys with him. And yeah.
Well, we hope that the day is soon. We're looking forward to seeing it all come together for you guys and getting to see. I know you want it to be a special senior season. We want that for you, and we're looking forward to seeing it here. So I think with that said, we're going to bring everybody out and and get into the Q&A portion of the program. We have had folks submit your questions when you RSVP'd, but if you didn't get a chance to, or you have another question you want to ask, again, the link right below the video, you can log on, open up that Google form, and send in a question for our team. So are you guys all ready? We're ready to dive in here. First question comes from comes for Coach McKee. Coach, obviously you've got great mentors, Coach Chaney, Coach Dunphy, Coach Ellerby. Have you talked to them during the pandemic? How are they doing? And can you share any coaching advice that they've passed along to you?
Well, I've been in constant contact, obviously, with Coach Dunphy. You know, we talk twice, 3 times a week. Coach Chaney, I talk to him quite often, and my high school coach, Bill Ellerby, we talk. And again, these are unprecedented times that we're facing right now, and nobody really have the answers for anything. The one thing Coach Chaney said to me is like, the times that we're living in right now, and he was like, it's like being in the dark room trying to find that switch to cut the lights back on. He was like, everything is just so dark right now, and we're trying to find that switch to cut it on, but nobody can seem to find that switch. And I just get a laugh out of that, because that's classic Coach Chaney right there.
It is. Oh, he's got it. Still got away with words. That really is. Coach Cardoza, I'm going to start with you here, but I want Coach McKee to jump in as well. And that is, we've talked about COVID and the pandemic here and its effect on the offseason preparation for the team. But I've had a couple folks write in to ask how it is affecting things in recruiting as well, and what recruiting looks like in a COVID environment. So Coach Cardoza, I'll start with you, and then Coach McKee, you can jump in as well.
I think it's been really hard in the sense that if you haven't seen these kids when they were younger, you're basically going off of someone's word or off of film. And in the past, that's something that I didn't want to recruit a kid off of film, because there's so many other things that go into it. Body language, how they interact with their teammates, their coaches. But I think for us, this particular class that we just signed, we knew them, we knew their coaches. We were able to do a lot of Zoom calls and really get to know them that way. And I think we just got lucky and did a great job. I think my staff did a really good job of identifying the types of kids that we want in our program. I think we have a lot of really good kids, good students, good basketball players, but their character is really good. In the future, that's going to be hard now. For the next couple of classes, if we don't get to go out and see 22s, that's going to be really hard, because we're basically going off of all film or, the word of somebody else. So we're crossing our fingers and hope that, we get this under control. But I do love the class that we just signed. I think we got lucky enough to sign a really good class.
That's great to hear. Coach McKee, same on your end?
Yeah, I would concur with Coach Cardoza. I think up to this point, I mean, it's been fine, because we pretty much wrapped up our class of kids, and we have some high character kids who excel in the classroom and obviously excel on the basketball court. And again, you get film every day. You get coaches that's calling you, and they're constantly telling you about different players that can come in and help your program. And the one thing that you want to see as a coach is, again, what Coach Cardoza touched on, is how do they respond to coaching? How do they respond to adversity? And that's what you really want to see, because when it's good, everybody's happy. Kids are playing well, shots are going in, they're happy. But, what happens if you're down 10, you're down 20? Is that kid continuing to compete? Is he still a good teammate? Or is he that kid with his palms up and it's never his fault? So, we're going to have to continue to evaluate and do our due diligence. And I'm not big on watching highlight tapes. I just don't buy into that, because people can send you things on players and they look great in a highlight tape. Or, you watching some of their game film and you just really can't get a feel for the kid watching film. So, moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. So I think the next few years is going to be really hard, and you're going to just really have to gamble on some of these kids out here.
Yeah, and that said, here's another question that I think ties into it a little bit. It really doesn't matter in one sense if you can't go anywhere, but this is a common question that we tend to get across all our sports, and that is, how do you balance your recruiting focus within Philadelphia and nationwide, and kind of what's your philosophy there in terms of what you're looking for?
Well, for me, if you want family, you want team chemistry, you want great academics, and you want to come to a wonderful city, a sports town with wonderful food and restaurants. And, you know, Philadelphia is vibrant and active and fun and all of these great things, then, you know, this is the place for you. You know, we spend an incredible amount of time with local kids and trying to, you know, get those kids to, you know, want to come here and be a part of the program and, you know, our tradition. And some of them see it different and they want to move to other places. And what I realized in the past is, you know, you spend so much time with those guys and focusing in on them, you miss out on others. So, you know, you want to try to find some sort of balance where you're locking on the local kids and the kids you feel can help your program, but also giving kids outside of Philadelphia and the surrounding area the same amount of attention.
Well, we're going to shift gears here. Next question is for Mia Davis. Mia, we've got some people in the comments trying to cause some trouble here between you and your coach, so I'm going to see how you handle this one. Living in Philadelphia, how do you let Coach Cardoza get away with being a Boston sports fan?
I actually let her get away with it because I'm actually a fan, not type of a Philly fan. So.
I was gonna say, you're a Baltimore native, right? So where do you land on this?
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with her being a Boston fan.
Coach Cardoza, are you gloating after Patriots Ravens last night?
Most definitely. I called one of my East Carolina coach. He's a Baltimore fan, and you know, for the last 10 years we go back and forth, and you know, obviously the Patriots haven't been having their normal Patriot year, but I'll take that win.
You've had enough of them. We're good. When Boston's fine for a while.
We'll take some more. We haven't had enough. We'll take more.
I won't make you mad and bring up 41-33. I won't do that to you tonight. That wouldn't be right. I'll just, you know, that wouldn't be classy. We'll put that aside.
It's okay.
Moving right along, Dre. Again, folks trying to get you in trouble with your coach. 3-point shooting contest between you and Coach McKee. Who wins?
Me, of course.
You heard how he answered that. He don't even believe that.
I guess
Dre, I got you.
An important caveat with it would be, is that Coach McKee circa 2020 or Coach McKee circa 1994?
Say this again. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Is that Coach McKee 2020 Coach McKee, or is that to 1994 Coach McKee? Or do you still
his percentage numbers are probably a lot better than mine at the 3-point line, but you know, I always tell him I want to play him one-on-one anyway. Forget all of that stuff. I want to play him one-on-one. So ask him that question.
Dre, anything to add there?
His day's coming. It's coming.
All right, this is for both Dre and Mia. As student athletes, obviously we had a change in our apparel provider. We're wearing Nike now. How do you guys like it? And do you think that it has an effect recruiting-wise? Dre, I'll start with you and then Mia.
Yeah, I love Nike. I'm always been a Nike guy, and I feel like it does have somewhat of effect on recruiting, because a lot of kids our age love Nike and they'd rather play in Nike, or is more comfortable to them for their own reasons. But yeah.
Mia, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Dre. Like, more people our age will want to play in Nike, but I feel as though Under Armour had a little bit more better stuff. But Nike got better shoes. But I like Under Armour. Like, my high school team with Under Armour, we were sponsored by Under Armour, so I'm like an Under Armour person.
Well, you got it right there. It's in your backyard in Baltimore. I get it. I get it. But I'm glad to hear about the shoes. That feels important.
Yeah.
All right, back to Coach McKee for a question. This is kind of a two-parter. What was your favorite moment from your playing career? So that's part one. And then kind of transitioning into your coaching style, how do you feel that your playing style translates to your coaching style at all?
The best moment of my career, I would say reaching the final eight. Just awesome. Just, being a kid from Philadelphia, being able to represent Temple University in the last 8 teams in college basketball was awesome. It was my first taste of really being on a larger, grand scale of things, where, we had security at the hotel, and, we're up in our rooms and our phones are ringing constantly, and kids are asking for our sneakers and autographs and stuff like that. So for a 19, 20-year-old kid, that was just awesome. And when you think about it, it's all the work that you put in as a kid in the playground and dribbling basketballs up and down the street and shooting in trash cans and all of those things. And that's just the fruits of your labor is just, paying off at that point. In terms of my playing style and my team, and it translating over to my coaching style, the way I see it is I want a disciplined team. I want a team to be, fundamentally sound. I want them to be mentally tough, and I want them to play the game of basketball the right way, and that's being unselfish. And I think all of those things are who I was as a player, and it's who I am as a person. So, I think I'm mentally tough, and I'm very unselfish as a person. I was unselfish as a player, and really, we teach the game of basketball, but we're teaching these young men and women about life as well.
Yeah, that's really well said. And I want to shift gears now. And we've got a question that a couple people have asked. This is for Coach Cardoza and for Mia. Obviously, one of the big storylines in the American Athletic Conference in the offseason is UConn leaving the league. And this is still an incredibly strong basketball conference. We know that. But just kind of tell us about the makeup of the conference as a whole, what your expectations are for the league this season, and how you want Temple to be a part of that going into this year. Coach,
I think
we'll start
right
with you.
now everyone's eager to really get started because we know that there's going to be a new champion. I think we're very balanced league from top to bottom on any given night. Anyone can win a game. Is evident outside of UConn that we would beat up on each other. Obviously with COVID, it's going to be whoever can, stay healthy. But very excited about it. I think we have the right mixture of talent. I don't think anyone can really match up with our athleticism. But it's going to be, just continuing to get better on the defensive side and trying to stay healthy. But I think that it's wide open, and what we have, and even in the future, what we have coming in, we're hoping that we could be the next UConn of the American.
It's great. Mia, your senior year, you missing UConn? You excited to play without him? How do you feel?
Like Coach said, I just think we're anxious to start the season because basically the championship is up for grabs. I think we actually have a nice shot with winning a championship, and that's exciting to me because usually we're always like up and down. So to know that they're gone and anybody can win a championship, that's a great thing to me.
Well, Coach McKee and Dre, since we're talking about the American, let's talk about it on the men's side. Obviously, there's not really an equivalent to UConn anywhere in men's basketball. But again, for folks that, since we don't have the normal offseason, we haven't gotten to maybe hear as much as we normally would. Tell us about what the American looks like in men's basketball this year. Coach McKee, we'll start with you and then Dre.
Well, it's a balanced conference. I mean, I would assume it's similar to, what Tanya was saying about the women's part of it. Is, you could go to any team, or they can come to you and they're capable of beating you. You start with a team like Houston, who's probably the favorite. They got 3 guards that's returning. It's probably the top trio of guards in the country. Those guys are pretty good. All of those guys are going to have a chance to play at the next level, and and they're well coached. You look at a team like Memphis. With Penny, he's going to bring in a ton of talented guys. He got some returners, high-level players that he's going to return. So, they're going to be pretty good. You talk about SMU, who was probably one of the top offensive teams in the country last year. And all of those teams are well coached. It's going to be a battle night in and night out. And the one thing I would say about our conference is it fits the mold of a championship conference where most of those teams are older teams and more experienced teams. And those are the teams that go on and do a lot of damage in the NCAA tournament and do a lot of damage in the conference. Now, we're young. We do have some older guys that's mixed in, with our younger guys. So, we want to get older, get more experience, and stay older and be at the top of the conference. And I'm confident with the group of guys that we got, with the leadership of Dre Perry and JP Mormon, we'll have a say in all of that.
Dre, what do you think about it? You've been around this conference in and out. We've got 20 conference games on both sides. What do you think about the makeup of the American this year?
I agree with Coach. It's pretty balanced, but we're gonna compete. I feel like we got enough in our locker room that we can get the job done, and we're gonna compete. Anxious to play guys like Memphis. A lot of the young guys talking about it. Just ready to get out there and compete, honestly. Just miss it.
Yeah, we miss watching it for sure. So I've got one last question that I want to put out for each of you guys. But before I get there, Coach McKee, I've got one more from you because I can't ignore a question from one of our 7-year-old fans who's watching tonight. He wants to know about how the team is going to look rebounding this year. So give us your rebounding outlook for 2020.
Well, I hope we're at the top of the conference in rebounding, offensively and defensively. That's one of the key components of winning basketball games. You want to limit teams' second opportunity chances, and you want to get second opportunities by crashing the glass. So that's something we certainly have to continue to improve in doing. And I firmly believe when you got guards that rebound the ball, you're always going to be a good rebounding team.
All right. So we're coming to the end of our time here. Again, I want to thank each of you for being so generous and hopping on. I mean, we've done this event in years past inside the Liacouras Center. We've got hundreds of people on the floor. This is one of the things that I always really look forward to. I know our fans look forward to as well. It's not the same when we're all looking into our computer screens, but this has been great until we can all get back in one building together. So with that said, what I want to do is obviously the folks that are watching tonight, these are the most loyal, diehard Temple supporters we've got. These are folks that would be in the building. I know if they could, if we can, hopefully bring this virus under control, we can get the right safety precautions in place and we can bring folks into the building. But until that day comes, can you each just talk about what the Temple fans have meant to you? And if there are folks watching tonight that say, I just want to be a part of this year. I want to do whatever I can. I want to help however I can, just what you can ask for from them and maybe just a quick message of thanks. So let's start with the players. Mia, starting with you here, just kind of a message to the fans that are watching tonight.
A message to the fans. I just want to say thank you for always supporting us. I feel as though with the women's team, we had a lot of ups and downs, but no matter what, our fans was still there regardless, supporting us through thick and thin. So I just want to say thank you and keep supporting.
That's great. Dre?
I just want to say thank you to you all for supporting us through our ups and downs, wins and losses. Your loyalty means a lot, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Thanks so much. Coach Cardoza?
Just thank you for everything. Like Mia said, no matter what the situation, I feel like we've had diehards that have just been with us and continue to support us. Even with all of this, just ways that you can still be around following the games, follow social media, but more importantly, wear a mask and stay safe.
Yeah, really well said. Absolutely. And Coach McKee will give you the final word tonight, my friend.
Well, I just want to, hopefully everybody is in good health, physically and mentally. Our fans, it, means a lot to me. Just growing up in this program, and they've been supporting me, throughout. Temple's, took a chance on me at a coming out of high school, and they're taking a chance on me now. And I really appreciate that. I like to call them, family. We talk about fans as family. Those are the ones that stick by your side through the ups and downs. And we all certainly have been through that. So thank you for your continued support. And myself, along with Coach Cardoza and these players, I'm around them every day. I'm not around the women as much as I'm around the men, but I see how hard they work and they care. We got some young men and some young women that care, and we got to see it through form. So, stay safe, continue to support us, and, God bless all you guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Coach McKee, Coach Cardoza, Mia Davis, Dre Perry. Thank you guys for being a part of this tonight. We really appreciate it, and we're really looking forward to seeing you out on the court as soon as possible. We can't wait for when that day comes. Thank you all.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right. For our fans tuning in tonight, I want to say thank you again for being a part of this. It makes it so special for us to get to try to share these moments with you as best we can. Again, more information is coming soon about the start of the non-conference schedule for Temple men's and women's basketball, so please stay tuned for that. As a reminder, no fans in the building at the start of the season. We will hope for better news and updated guidance from the city of Philadelphia as we go on. But check your inboxes, follow us on social media. We will have information coming about our new cutout program where we'll be able to get fan cutouts in the building so you can be a part of the game day atmosphere. You can tune in to Hoot from Home right here on YouTube where you found us tonight. You can check that out throughout the season for behind the scenes look at each game inside the Leah Core Center. And again, much more to come. We will have a full schedule and full television and ESPN Plus coverage for you. All of the details will be coming out later. I want to thank our friends at the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, our presenting sponsor of tonight's virtual tip-off event, for all that they do for Temple Athletics. I want to thank everyone that's helped put this together. I want to thank our guests. And of course, first and foremost, thank each of you for your support of the programs. It means so much to us. It's the reason that we do what we do. And while I know we're all waiting for the day that we can see these teams out on the court, and that's going to be so special for all of us, we're really waiting for the day that we can welcome all of you back into the buildings to cheer them on, because that is what makes college athletics so special. It makes doing what we do, it's why we do it. So thank you. As Coach Cardoza said, wear a mask, stay safe, take care of each other. God bless. We'll see you soon. Go Owls, everyone. Good night.